You don't hate people. You probably enjoy talking to them. You have friends. You have family. You answer messages. You laugh at stupid jokes. You go out when you're invited. And yet, there's a strange feeling that comes when everyone finally leaves. The phone stops vibrating. No conversations. No expectations. Nobody needs anything from you. And suddenly you can breathe. Maybe you've noticed it before. You cancel your plans and feel guilty about it. But once you're finally alone, you feel relieved. Not sad, not abandoned, relieved. And that's where things get interesting. Because if humans are supposed to crave connection, why does solitude sometimes feel better than company? Why can you miss someone desperately and still want them to leave you alone? Maybe the answer isn't that you hate people. Maybe you simply hate the version of yourself that you have to become around them. Think about how different you are depending on who you're with. With your parents, you're one person. With your friends, you're another. At work, another. With someone you love, another. None of these versions are necessarily fake, but none of them are the entire you either. Every social situation comes with expectations. You have to respond. You have to listen. You have to react. You have to explain yourself. Sometimes you even have to pretend to care about things you don't care about. And most of the time, you don't notice how exhausting this is. Until you're finally alone. Then something changes. You don't have to perform. You don't have to be interesting. You don't have to be agreeable. You don't have to explain why you're quiet. You can simply exist. And perhaps that's what solitude gives you. Not loneliness. Freedom from observation. Being alone and being lonely are not the same thing. Loneliness is a feeling that a connection you want is missing. Solitude is simply the absence of other people. And sometimes solitude is exactly what you need. You can be surrounded by hundreds of people and feel completely invisible. And you can sit alone in a room and feel completely at peace. This is one of the strange contradictions of being human. We need other people, but we also need somewhere inside ourselves where nobody else can enter. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer had a particularly dark view of this. He believed that people often tolerate it, but he also argued that the ability to enjoy solitude reveals something important about a person. The more comfortable you are with your own mind, the less desperate you become for constant company. And that idea leads to an uncomfortable question. When you say you're afraid of being alone, are you actually afraid of loneliness? Or are you afraid of meeting yourself? There's another strange thing people do. Sometimes we want connection desperately, and then, when someone gets too close, we pull away, we stop replying, we become distant. We tell ourselves we don't need anyone. Sometimes that's healthy. Boundaries matter. Some relationships genuinely are harmful, but sometimes pushing people away is a form of self-protection, because intimacy means being seen, and being seen means becoming vulnerable to rejection. If nobody knows the real you, nobody can reject the real you, so you create distance. You convince yourself that you prefer solitude, and eventually you become very good at being alone. But being good at solitude and being incapable of intimacy are two very different things. There is a danger here. Solitude can restore you, but isolation can consume you. The difference isn't always obvious. Healthy solitude brings you back to yourself. Unhealthy isolation slowly disconnects you from everything outside yourself. At first, staying home feels peaceful. Then you stop answering messages. Then you stop wanting to go anywhere. Then interacting with people starts feeling exhausting. Eventually, solitude isn't something you choose. It's something you hide inside. And that's when the question changes. You're no longer asking, why do I enjoy being alone? You're asking, why don't I want anyone close to me anymore? Those are very different questions. Maybe what you actually want is to be alone without feeling lonely. You want relationships where you don't have to perform. People around whom silence isn't awkward. Someone you can sit beside without having to fill every second with conversation. Friends you don't have to impress. A relationship where you can say, I need some time alone, and the other person doesn't interpret it as rejection. Perhaps that's the kind of connection most people are actually searching for. Not constant attention, not constant conversation, just the freedom to be completely yourself without being afraid that someone will leave. Maybe that's what solitude was trying to tell you all along. That being alone isn't the problem. Sometimes, the problem is never feeling safe enough to be yourself around anyone. So, if you find yourself wanting to disappear sometimes, don't ask yourself why you hate people. Ask yourself what you are trying to escape from. And maybe you'll realize you weren't looking for a life without people. You were looking for a life where you didn't have to lose yourself just to be around them. Maybe that's what being alone was really for.